Hello, and welcome back to Just Casting. You're with me, Kyle.
And Jose.
Pat's here too, interrupting James.
It's me.
Yeah, we have a structure, James. Sorry, we probably should explain that before we hit the
just,
mics.
You can't just introduce yourself.
I forgot Pat was here. I'm sorry.
You forgot I was here? Like, I'm here most of the time. This is like the first time I've seen you here, possibly ever, I think.
Actually, this might be the first time you're on the pod, my friend. I'm not sure.
Have you done this before?
I don't think he has.
The podcast? No.
Oh, really?
No.
Wow, we've been doing this for years.
Never done this. No.
That's depressing.
I've been doing this for, I don't know about, I've been doing this for like months. Not even a
you've
year.
been doing this for months.
You've been so consistent. You're pretty much the fifth member,
Yeah.
or sixth if you count Jim.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I need something to put this on.
That's,
Take this copy of FAA
that's right.
Rules and Regulations that I don't read anymore.
Oh, good. Let's just
Well, it's outdated by 3 years, so it's fine.
So,
spit all over the FAA.
let's talk about what we're all here for today. The Doctor Who 2013 Christmas special.
I was gonna make a joke and say I got new kidneys to introduce it better. God damn it.
You could still do that.
Well, it's too late now. You already introduced it.
Alright.
No, fine.
Jackass.
So, yes.
I'm hyped up on Monster, by the way.
Do you have any more monsters?
I need it for work tomorrow.
So, the Doctor is dead. Long live the Doctor.
Yeah, that's original.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they don't do that in England, they have a real issue.
I don't know, I like that they did the regeneration, just, oh shit, all of a sudden he's...
Alright, we're not doing that. We're not going right to the end.
What?
That's
We
not
can't-
how you review something.
You start from the
Oh.
beginning. God damn it, Pat.
Just like any good story.
Don't make me
start
fire you
from the
already.
beginning.
Don't fire me, you're not even paying me, I quit.
It's a non-profit organization. Stop it.
Oh god.
Some of us are not for profit. Yeah, so we're not going to just jump to the final.
Okay, let's talk
Moments.
about how fucking the Doctor pretended to be Clara's boyfriend.
Yeah, let's talk about that because there's a really weird thing going on that I think he was naked 90% of the episode.
Probably, he was bald ambiguously long, he wore a wig, which is weird.
Well,
I mean,
it's not.
He wore a rig in real life.
I
Yeah,
think,
for
yeah, I
that.
didn't know that. I think the first two scenes, like when the wig looks really shitty, they saw that and they're like, "Wow, the wig looks really shitty. We might as well have the
I don't think
Doctor."
it looks shitty.
It looks shitty in the first couple
He always
scenes.
looks like that.
I forgot.
No, but like there were some scenes where like the bang, like the front part looks really artificial.
After it's revealed that he's in a wig, you can see he's very, like, he has a lot of,
Yeah.
his hairline's very, very descended, or ascended, whatever you want to call it.
Receded.
Receded.
So, and the fact that the Doctor lived out like an impossibly long time on Trenzalore, you know, like,
yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
All right.
he's now his age is now infinity. There's no,
No,
way
it's
to
not infinity.
pinpoint
I think
his
I,
age.
we were talking about this before, but again, you're jumping to the end of the story again.
Oh my god! Well, no one else is like trying to segue it.
Oh, you don't need the segue. We're talking about how he looks.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
Yep.
story starts out.
He's naked.
It doesn't start with he's naked. It starts out with
Yeah.
him appearing on a Dalek ship for some apparent reason.
And by the way, they never showed. Well, he has the decapitated head of a
thing.
Cyberman.
Oh,
which
yeah,
They never
handles.
explained him getting, unless they released a prequel episode.
Well, he was also landing on a Dalek ship holding the decapitated eye of a Dalek.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, he ripped the eye stalk out of a Dalek.
Oh, that's true.
Wasn't it weird that he said, like, identify which species of ship this is?
Because he told Handles or whatever, the Cyberhead, to just send him to a ship. And then he decided to send him to the one ship he shouldn't send him to.
I mean, you could clearly tell it was a Dalek ship by looking inside of it.
Yeah.
It was one of those classic Matt Smith doesn't pay attention to this, the surroundings and the
I
ironic
guess.
things
It
happen.
was the fucking pillars look like their armor.
It was classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Stuff like that irks me.
That I could not care less about.
Well, there's other things that'll irk me.
I'm sad that they didn't have like a Craig like third appearance or anything. I liked Craig. And
He might come back.
But it won't be the same because it was him and the 11th Doctor.
So Jack was with the 9 and 10.
That was different.
Why?
Jack was like,
Because Jack's good looking and Craig's fat.
yeah, that's why.
You fuck.
Whatever. But the episode was good. I mean, I don't know. It was
out of, let's say, just 9, 10, and 11. Where do you rate the regeneration episodes?
It's different in terms of sadness. The 10th Doctor, in terms of like, that's a very conclusive story to this Doctor's run than the 11th Doctor's. And if I have to go out on this, then sure, why not with the 9th Doctor?
You thought that was it? Like, well, might as well.
Yeah, kind of. It was like, okay, you're not going to do another series.
That's not very quality. That's not like a good thing. Just being like, well, I guess. What am I gonna do? I guess I have to die.
That's pretty much what he had to do, you know? He was like cheating death.
But that's sort of what Tennant was too. That's what all
Tennant
of them
was
are.
like, I love Tennant, but he was like bitching about regenerating the whole time.
Yeah, he didn't want to. He liked life. How is
And
that a
vanity
negative
issues.
thing?
He didn't just like life. He would have lived regardless.
No, it's well established that regenerating is not just coming back. You don't get to be the guy you were. You're an entirely different person.
He flat out says it still feels like dying.
Yeah,
It
and
does feel like dying.
and in this
stuff.
one, Matt Smith says basically, he's coming. He's going to be here soon.
That's good. He's pretty much like giving commentary for every regeneration scene ever, which is why it's a good regeneration scene.
I guess.
Like I like that. I can describe
No,
it.
we're not there. Come on, use your fucking head.
Fine, dude.
There's an entire
bring the
episode.
plot
You
forward.
just keep
I
running
want
to the last
talk about
minute.
regeneration.
You
I
just
wanna
keep
talk
running to
about
the last
that.
minute.
Shut up about the generation because I got a small rant for that later. All
Because
right.
it's not just a regeneration; it is a Christmas episode, and arguably the biggest.
He saves Christmas.
He does. He is like the Grinch who saved Christmas.
No, he literally saves Christmas.
He's the Who saved Christmas.
Oh my god.
And continuing.
It's literally the exact opposite of the Grinch who stole Christmas.
Back in the Dalek ship.
No, not back in the Dalek ship. The beginning he gets thrown on a Dalek ship. They shoot at him. He runs away. Yells at his little robot friend.
He gets a call from Clara to be at Christmas dinner, and then he's got the Cyberman head. He shows up there, pretends to be her boyfriend for 2 seconds.
About a minute, yeah.
And then he echoes Ten's regeneration episode by being hit on by a horny old lady.
I don't think they even considered that. I don't think that's now a trope in
There
Doctor
aren't any
Who.
coincidences in these
Oh,
things.
come on.
No.
It was simply an old woman seeing a young naked dude.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
In his defense, that did happen in Ten's regeneration episode, but I'm pretty sure nobody was like, "Well, this is a trope we have to continue.
Yeah.
This is
I
it."
don't know. All the doctors have been naked now.
It's
Which
it's
ones?
it's the glowing hands and
And another thing.
and old lady.
God, that's another thing I have to say for later. But
But the
Can't wait to see Peter naked.
yeah, so I do not understand.
Thanks, James. Thanks.
Yeah, I do not understand the naked thing.
I think it was just a cheap chance to have Matt Smith do a nude scene when
It was
the last time they're gonna have his body
but he's
around.
had no shirt on before,
Yeah,
in
that's
the
true.
first episode.
I don't know. I guess why not? I mean, Steve Moffat's been accused of writing women as sexist, so now maybe he's just trying to up the ante by having
Who accused him
male
of
nudes.
that?
People accuse him. There are commenters out there. who
For
accuse-
what? What did he do that was sexist?
Well, sometimes in the Silence of the Library, that Miss Evangelista, a woman can either be pretty or intelligent, or
Yeah, they're showing in the future that that's an issue.
But no, yeah.
He's
well,
being the opposite of sexist. He's shining light on a problem.
Or that River Song was all,
River Song was amazing.
I don't know.
This argument holds no weight,
All he
damn it.
built was smart, intelligent, and sexy women. That there's no.
Irene Adler on Sherlock was all.
That's
just
a different show, and also she beat Sherlock until the very end.
Still.
You made this up, and your
I did
argument
not
holds
make
no
it
water.
up. I swear I could. Oh, I did not make it up. There are so many people in What Culture who talk about who. I mean, I like Steve Moffat. I think I like him better than Russell T Davies.
I do too.
But he does get his fair amount of criticism, which makes sense. I mean, we could have.
Oh, he's not perfect. I'm not saying that. I'm just
Exactly,
saying he's not sexist. He definitely has issues.
Oh, so he does
But
have issues.
I don't know. I'm saying he's not. He has problems with his writing.
Yeah.
But he kind of squared it off in this episode.
Yeah.
We saw kind of the culmination of every single thing.
It was
the
a good
11th
That's
Doctor
why
ever
I
did.
think I'm sad that it's the end of the 11th Doctor, but this really did feel very conclusive to this Doctor's story as a whole, what this Doctor was about and everything.
Yes, and we got to see what the silence was.
We got to find out what blew up the TARDIS in Series 5.
Well, I think we knew that.
That wasn't directly stated. It was implied, but not
Okay.
directly confirmed.
Yeah,
And a lot of fans are bitching about, we never exactly found what blew up the TARDIS, so I think Steve Moffat was like, okay, I'll explicitly state this is what blew up the TARDIS.
What's her name? Whatever.
Kavarians.
Yeah, Madame Kavarian.
And that was cool. The church order was the pre-silence, and the silence aliens used to be priests who shtick making.
And most of them are good. Most of them are good guys. It's
even
just that
though the
small,
Doctor killed them all.
It's that small sect that went up. No, only the ones on Earth he only killed. And you know that the Silence in the 6th season were like a weird like what do you call it? Extremist sect.
Yeah, because they were trying to prevent the Doctor from
getting to Christmas
Time
or whatever.
Yeah, why would the time... Okay, another thing was that on Trenzalore, it turns out that there's one final crack in time from Series 5.
It's the scar from Season 5.
And it turns out it wasn't the TARDIS... Well, the TARDIS blowing up was a big thing, but it wasn't the exact cause of all the cracks.
TARDIS... That fissure was the last, like, scar from the TARDIS exploding.
Okay, yeah.
And the Time Lords on the other side saw that and went to that crack.
Right. And but apparently the Time Lords kept asking Doctor Who for a signal, even though they couldn't get any other type of signal from the Doctor or just get a thumbs up or something.
I think they weren't sure that was the universe that they came from, so they needed him to, you know.
Yeah, on that note, is there like one parallel universe now that like all the things in stasis?
No, I think there's probably billions or trillions.
But then how did they happen to be in the same one that
They found the fissure that his TARDIS exploding would have, you know, they could probably detect their own technology.
Yep. Yeah, but alright, never mind. But how did they get to that universe, is what I'm saying.
What do you mean?
So,
well, no, I'm saying that crack could have been, who knows how many universes that could have opened up into. It could just be a crack in the fabric of all reality.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. So
and they could. I don't think they were literally standing on the other side of that crack. I think it was more that they could, you know, that crack was like how the crack in the universe was everywhere in every time period.
Yeah.
It's probably in every universe. It's probably, you know, there's a crack in reality.
So, okay. I guess that's sufficient.
Okay. But yeah, so they meet up with the Madam, what was it?
I don't know, not River Song, because she had all of River Song's lines pretty much.
Basically, yeah. I thought for a second she was going to be River.
Yeah.
Somehow. Because there was...
She acted like River.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I like Stephen Moffat, but he has a tendency to reuse themes and lines from his other previous works and everything.
But the minute he was like, you've been fighting the psychopath inside you all your life, that's when I was like, oh, like something's about to happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it reused, you know, it turns out they used the Dalek sleeper agents and everything.
I like that.
Yeah.
The only thing that confused me, and I guess, yeah, this is fine to just go into, but why, looking back, what was the point of erasing the Doctor from all the history books and records? If they were just going to be like, all right, well, the Daleks found out, right? They know about him again. Go. Like, there's no real... They only used it, like, once.
Yeah, maybe it's just an idea that they had didn't pan out. You know, like Chloe forgetting about Clark on Smallville.
But it's weird because it's all Stephen Moffat. Like, it's...
Yeah, I know.
Like, he came up with that idea, and he also...
He was the one that had River Song die with the 10th Doctor also, and not explain that, so...
Well, that was a good idea. Because you do it in reverse order. That's a good idea. The first time they meet is the first time she dies.
They never explained why River Song recognized the 10th Doctor, why she'd be
surprised. That's just time changes.
So it makes sense why he wouldn't recognize her, you know? I mean...
Nah, I mean, that just makes sense. Time changes. That's just how it goes, you know?
Yeah, when the Doctor made the Daleks forget about his existence...
That's what I'm saying. Like, why? What was the point of writing that?
Yeah. I thought you were talking about, like, the whole season before that. Like, when he said that he didn't exist anymore.
Yeah, season 7 or whatever. That, like, in the first episode of Asylum of the Daleks, at the end, he erases himself from all history books, including the Daleks.
I thought that was before.
That was the first episode of season 7. And then, it really doesn't apply through most of season 7, except dinosaurs on a spaceship, they reference it. And then that's kind of it, right? Like, there's no real other...
It was just he was faking his death, so the silence wouldn't bug him anymore, I think.
Yeah, I guess. But what we did get in this episode is sort of like probably the longest war like ever.
That's what bothers me too. Like at this point,
they go down to Christmas.
Yeah, the town called Christmas on the planet Trenzalore, where there's
which he didn't find out for a long time that it was named Trenzalore.
Yeah, that's true.
They go down to just this random town where everyone has to speak
The
the
truth.
truth for some reason.
Yeah, I didn't understand the point.
Which is a
of
good
that.
idea, but doesn't really get developed on further.
Yeah, like it was a funny line where he just like spouts out like I'm the doctor from Gallifrey.
Yeah,
I stole
I'm wearing a
TARDIS,
wig.
you know.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing a wig. And the doctor finds out that, like we said, the crack in the wall is still there, and there's the Time Lords on the other side trying to get through, and they've been sending out a signal for him, hoping for him to show them that it's okay to come back. Then, basically all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Basically, it sends out to everyone, and all the big villains just decide to lay siege, try to kill him so that way they can never bring the Time Lords back. But pretty quickly, I guess, everyone gets killed except the Daleks.
Yeah. So eventually, the Daleks versus the Silence, and the Silence are on the Doctor's side versus the Daleks, and it's just a testament to the fact that the Daleks are the most antagonistic foes to the Doctor, that they would last so much longer.
Well, it just means they're powerful.
Yeah, they had the Weeping Angels inexplicably buried in the snow on Trenzil.
And they just sort of go away. But,
and they, instead
they
of
were
transporting
defeated.
people back in time, they just grab people physically now.
but that's been known to happen.
Steve Moffat just, turns off the Angel's powers when he feels like it. Cause
But they might not want to do
No,
it then.
I think it was just that he caught him at the exact moment of time that it got her. So it was.
But
like,
no, but they've done it when, it doesn't matter that you're a stone either. They're stone, because remember, Angels Take Manhattan, Amy touched a stone one, and she went back in time. That they were-
Stone touched Amy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that they were looking at, but
So,
but hang on.
Oh no, I thought that was because she turned around.
Yeah, but the other ones were looking at it.
No, she blocked it.
Oh.
She turned in front of it.
All right, well, whatever. But anyway, the Silence, really what it really is a church, like some weird global international police force church.
The second they said that the pre-Silence people were like a church military organization, I was like, oh, okay, Steve Moffat's just doing another one of those. But then,
Well, he
the
did
fact
that.
that
It was the same one.
Yeah, it was the same. It was half. The good half was the one scene in Silence of the Time of the Angels, is what I mean. The Flesh and Stone Time of the Angels two-parter.
Well,
That was the good faction. The bad faction was the Silence and everything else.
no, you're wrong. The good, most of it was good. 99.9% of it was good. There was a very small faction that was bad. Did you see the size of their army in this one? They had a giant helicarrier thing going on.
That was cool. It had like a cube thing.
Yeah, and you see the what we've come to know as the Silence, all in black. I like that. They had new suits.
They
very
looked like bohemian.
yeah. I was very like, oh, you guys dressed up. I like it.
Yeah.
Or dressed down. I don't know.
Yeah. One day they'll learn to dress up like Reservoir Dogs or
Yeah,
whatever.
I like to say madmen.
Yeah.
But speaking about the Silence now, so then one day they just randomly decided they were going to go back into human history and invent all their things. Like
Yeah.
I don't think they invented all their things.
They were just around for a while.
I think that sect of that church went back in time. They probably don't have a great time travel situation.
They just randomly go back to.
Maybe, and they built up
It's kind of inaccurate.
Yeah, I don't know. But maybe, I don't know, maybe those aliens, maybe there was a group of them that kind of outgrew their own,
Okay.
who knows? There's a million different things. But the ones we're talking about are the ones that were in, A Good Man Goes to War.
Yeah.
That segment of them, of that group, I should say.
Was that
And
Colonel
then-
Runaway with them?
That was
that
no.
the exact? That wasn't the exact guy, was it?
He wasn't in this at all.
No, that's good.
But, what do you call it? They end up being the good guys, which is very kind of disturbing. This big,
All sorts of unfortunate implications.
yeah, this big war starts. The Doctor, in classic Doctor fashion, sends Clara back in time,
Yeah.
back home, and then she jumps on the TARDIS, and she should be dead.
Yeah.
There is no possible way for a human being to survive.
At least
going
Jack
through.
was Jack when he
But he
did
died.
Yeah.
He
Well,
died.
Okay, so here's my theory on that. Okay, so the doctor was like, oh, it had to extend its barrier or whatever.
Oh, he
And
just
you know-
said that? I thought you just said no wonder it took so long because he had to drag you along.
No.
No, he did say that the TARDIS extended the barrier to keep her safe.
Oh, all right.
He's
Never
like,
mind.
Clara's having a seizure, and she's like, damn it, Clara, I slowed the TARDIS down.
And I guess it just doesn't like Jack.
But then you see that the Doctor has become the guardian of this little town, which is under siege by basically everything that he ever ever hated
And he
him.
protects it for the first 300 years.
So we're there. If we're doing our count, he was about what
1500.
about 1274 or something in
Yeah.
in the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
So add 300 years. That's like almost 1600.
Yes.
And then
He's
Clara comes back.
for another ambiguous amount
Stop.
of time.
Clara comes back. They go through some other wacky hijinks. She's like, "You're never gonna send me back again, right?" He's like, "Nope, definitely not." Wink, wink. And then, what even happens? Why?
When he was middle-aged 11th Doctor, he reminded me of Jimmy Stewart a lot. Like,
Oh, I
his,
gotta see what you mean.
yeah.
But he was, the middle-aged one I did like, and he was like this weird mixture of Santa Claus and
Either
the
be
Doctor.
young, either be the young version or the older version.
And I like the middle one. The middle one was cool. He was
I
like,
like the older one. He looked like Doc Brown.
well, he was dead. Like he knew he was dead at that point.
Yeah.
Which we also learn in the middle one, where she's talking to him, and he's become a god on this planet, basically.
Yeah.
That this is his last life.
Yep.
And that's important.
Which I guess I'll just go ahead and say I told you so.
Oh, you were on the same wavelength that I was about that, though.
Yes, the War Doctor, while not being given the title of Doctor, was one of the
That's
13
not what they're
generations.
talking about.
It was no.
That's what
The David
I
Tennant one counted.
Yeah,
The
where
David
he
Tennant-
The
regenerated.
Meta-Crisis one was a regeneration. The
Yeah.
War Doctor's a regeneration. So 11 plus 2 is 13. So
Yep.
he's up to the 13.
But like I said to Jose, my overall point during all those conversations was proven in this. So I don't care that point was proven.
Which points?
The overall point was, my overall point has always been that the Time Lords can take away and give regeneration.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
what the
And that was
Master
proven.
stole and hijacked regenerations all the
Yeah.
time.
And that was proven in this
That
special.
was
So
cool.
that was
cool. I liked
I was completely okay with. But
So,
before we get to that, again, this is his last life. He can't regenerate.
yeah.
He's defending this place. He knows he can't go on forever. He has a limited lifespan. And then he sends Clara back again.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know why. There's something happened.
He
Like,
wants to keep her out of the war.
no, there's for some specific reason. Like something was about to happen.
Mm.
It was like the church had just fallen apart or something. Oh,
Something like
they
that.
went back up there. The Daleks had taken
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
They were using that weird Dalek human situation, Dalek silence situation, which
weird.
that would be terrifying.
Yeah.
And the Mother Superior or whatever, basically took over. I don't know how you could do that.
Yeah, but she took it back somehow.
Yeah, she took her body back, sent them back, and again the Doctor sent Clara away, then took his TARDIS back, and she was all pissed off.
Yep. But
And then
she came back the second time. It's like
it's way later,
Yeah.
some amount of time.
now, like
it's an unknown.
the Doctor's been around so long that like he's with like Barnabas's great times 15 grandson. And,
He's got to be. He has to be like 900, right?
900 years
Like
later.
he has to be like 900 that body because
Yeah.
because
Well, 400
William
years did nothing.
well William Hartnell, they always said he was 900 years old or something,
What?
or like 700 and so there was a lot of years,
Okay.
and that was the first Doctor, and he lived an entire Time Lord lifespan.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
But I think that this whole thing is ambiguous too, because John Hurt died of old age.
yeah, that was
he
weird.
could have been
too.
old. Yeah, but I think that's the whole point. Is I think that's how long the Time War took place. That's supposed to be
Yeah,
hundreds and
probably.
hundreds and hundreds of
And
years.
Steve Moffat wrote it, so he would reuse the same thing.
Yeah,
But he's still only 900 when David Tennant takes over.
well, that's the whole
So-
point. Is the
That he
Doctor's kind of
lies.
always been lying about his
Yeah.
age.
Okay.
It's the only like logical explanation. He has
'Cause-
to be lying about his age.
Well, because he was 900 for like 50 years
Yeah.
essentially. But then we get to see a really super old Doctor, and we get this weird moment that I think Matt Smith is the oldest Doctor ever.
I think so.
Like,
Yeah,
he lived out.
he lived up from a young buddy to an old buddy. The only other Doctor to do that was the first
Was
Doctor.
William Hartnell.
Yeah,
And we get this weird, I never thought it was nice, but I never thought he would be, like, he would get his entire life, like even if his entire life was defending this little town, Like, he still got to live an entire life, make toys for children.
Yeah, that's what the 11th Doctor does. He had a little, undying land on Trenzalore and everything.
Yeah, it was kind of nice for him.
It was, definitely.
It's cool. I mean, the fact that there's so much time where God knows what really went down all that time, it's kind of weird, but the fact that eventually...
Giant war.
Well, that too.
Speaking of that war, he's protecting Christmas. What happens to the rest of the planet?
I think Christmas might be the only settlement on the planet.
Really?
Because they said they were settlers, they were basically farmers.
So, eventually...
That was the only place really being attacked, so the rest of the planet was probably safe anyway.
But why?
Or he didn't have the TARDIS at first. Because he sent it back with Clara, and that was with her for hundreds of years, so maybe everyone else died.
Well, for him it was only for 100 years. For Clara it was like maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. For him it was just hundreds of years.
Yeah.
If it did take place on, like, if there were people on the rest of the planet, they would be dead.
They would be dead. But he saved a small town. That's sort of his style. He saves who he can. But nobody, I guess they flat out said, the Daleks, nobody killed the Doctor because they were afraid he would regenerate. Or something. They were afraid he had a trick up his sleeve, but they claimed to know he didn't have any regenerations left. So I don't really understand why they didn't just flat out and shoot him.
Because they know the Doctor always has something up his sleeve.
But he didn't.
Maybe
they didn't know that.
That's an awful long time to wait to be like, he might have something.
Well,
It was-
I read that the part where the Daleks were like, "You have no regenerations left," was like Steve Moffat like making it clear to the viewers what the situation was.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah. But he came back. He decides to give up, I guess, which is kind of not give up, but it's like, what am I going to do? I can barely walk.
I mean, like, yeah, if I don't die from old age, I might as well die like telling the Daleks to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Clara whispers some nice words.
She says, "Hey, Time Lords, go eat. The Doctor's cool. Like, can you stop being douchebags for 5 seconds?"
Which, if you're like, you're terrified, like to try to come through, and somebody's like, "No, just do it. Just do something good. Do something." Like, wouldn't you be like, "No, this is a trick. Like, we want him to say his name."
Yeah.
We gave one instruction, but
why did they want him to say his name?
because
They confirmed it was him.
they knew they were in the right place then.
Wow.
And so, the Time Lords listen to Clara, they close up the crack, and then they appear, which I don't know.
Big crack.
I don't know if it means that they're officially back somewhere, or because before I thought they were, but now they're not. Apparently,
No, they never were. At the end of the 50th, they say like, "We don't know what happened."
yeah.
Like, we'll see. But yeah, they open up a big crack in the sky and shoot some regeneration energy at the Doctor. And
How much regeneration energy?
Enough to destroy a whole Dalek
No,
ship.
I mean, like,
a whole Dalek fleet.
Yeah, another thing. If the Time War, if
Volcano
Gallifrey was
arms.
under siege during the Time
Why
War,
would they all just regenerate?
yeah, like why didn't their regenerations destroy things and they're
Well,
like
all right.
that's the one scene I wish they
No,
included in the Day of the Doctor. Just a random Gallifrey citizen getting shot. They start to regenerate, then they get shot down again.
I
That'd
agree.
be
That would have
cool.
been awesome. But I believe that, one, he only had that much energy because they were infusing with an entirely new regeneration cycle, which he does say, which is 12 more lives.
Yeah.
wait, what?
He got a new regeneration cycle, is what he said. So he has 12 more lives.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Which makes sense why Peter Capaldi was
yeah,
the first next guy.
he's the new number one, so that's why he's older. But I think that's why he had the energy to take down.
Yeah.
And two, they didn't do it. It wasn't just everyone in during the Time War. The Time Lords didn't just shoot themselves in the head, so they could just be spouting out energy. Because I think that's why he had that much energy, because it was an entirely new cycle.
Yeah, I could do it too.
I also think that part of the influence on regeneration energy and why it's big is how long they've been around and how much time paradox it creates by them being around.
What do you mean time paradox?
I mean, they have they make a big deal about time energy in general.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some relation to
you were building it up the whole time.
yeah, he's going around and changing history all the time, so it builds up.
Mm-hmm. David Tennant had literally absorbed energy, so he had to spout it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Christopher Eccleston.
No, David Tennant absorbed nuclear energy.
Well, Christopher Eccleston
Fine.
also told Rose to get away because, that regeneration energy could,
But his regeneration's
Well,
good.
they
It was
both
not
absorbed energy
Yeah.
under that logic then.
Yeah, but I think the time vortex is a little different and vague David Tennant literally absorbed like nuclear energy.
What was the exact death? Was it old age that
Yeah.
caused him to...
He was
I mean,
old,
nuclear energy is nothing to compare to like TARDIS energy.
but we don't know how that works. We don't know how outwardly, like, what is it, exothermic? We don't know how TARDIS energy works. You know what I mean? Because Christopher Eccleston's regeneration was not that epic compared to David Tennant's. David Tennant's destroyed the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so we got this spectacular, weird, violent regeneration scene that didn't actually regenerate.
Yeah, I like that. It built up. It looks like you go back to the TARDIS.
Hey, Clara runs back. You see clothes askew.
Yeah, you see like these like brown leather boots like stepping up like the
Yeah.
TARDIS stairs,
So
and
you're
then,
expecting-
and then it's just like young, regular 11th Doctor. Young.
I thought what I thought was gonna happen. I thought he was gonna have a hologram.
Yeah, that was the hologram too.
And like it was
It's like, why can you just do that the whole time? Or
If
something?
I thought he was gonna be like, I just didn't want to shock you, so you could explain it to her, and then like it would drop, and it would
Yeah.
be Peter Capaldi.
I thought when he was like switching, he's gonna like go Capaldi, then back to Smith for a second, then to Capaldi.
Maybe. But yeah, we get to see fish fingers and custard.
Yeah.
Like he finishes that off because he knows that's the only time he'll ever like that again.
Probably, yeah, that makes sense.
And then we get to see not little Amy running around.
That definitely wasn't little.
Because she's years older.
Yeah, I know.
now.
Even when they still had her on the show, she got older.
Yeah. And then we got
like
Karen Gillan
wearing a wig, but you know, it's
Well,
the
alright,
fact that
fine.
she came back.
she was gonna be bald. That would be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Or like lightly shaved.
I like
head.
it. It's the fact that now Amy Pond and the 11th Doctor are now part of the ethos of like the Lost Doctor and companions. So they'll, in a way, they'll forever be, you know, having adventures.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
You know what? Fuck you guys.
No, I mean I'm not even like insulting you. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's just like, okay, now they're gonna go to the place where like, you know, fictional characters where their stories are done. They go to. It's like
well, the Doctor just goes into his own head.
sort of, but now it's just like that version of the Doctor with that. That's why it was good that Amy came back, because Amy was like the most
It was his
Doctor centric. Like, you know, Rose, like 9th Doctor got gypped because Rose is also 10th Doctor companion, and Clara is now a 12th Doctor companion. But you know, Matt, the 11th Doctor, had Amy as like his specific.
2.5 seasons. She is his
Yeah,
companion.
she was the longest running companion so far, other than Rose, and like she technically beat Rose.
Well, I mean, I think Sarah Jane Smith has her.
Well, the new series, I mean. It looks like Claire is gonna like give them a run for their money too at this rate.
I don't think so. Well, I mean,
Her story's
let's just
kinda
finish this
done,
up.
Yeah.
He sees Amy. She like touches him, and then she's a hallucination, and then they have their moment of like, don't change, and then he just changes on a dime.
I like
Which
that,
I don't know. I thought personally that was way too underdramatic.
Cool. I liked it.
I loved
yeah.
it. I mean, if you watch the old regenerations, that's what happened.
It was a great change, and then
I
like this big dramatic moment.
I
of
understand you
switching his
explain that.
face.
Kyle, I don't know. I personally, I understand that with the old series, but it's because they didn't have the effect. They couldn't afford effects to make it dramatic.
But everyone, I mean, only very recently they decided this is what this regeneration thing is, and it's always been different. So you can just say it's always it's a gamble, just
And
like
his
your body.
face
The
did get all
regeneration's
glowy
a
for a
gamble.
split second. It was
I don't
glowy,
know.
turned
It
around.
was handed too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it was underplayed.
I think he shot out all the actual energy to it
Yeah.
because he needed it in that moment. So when he changed, it was just sort of like a very quick like cells changing cells.
Like he got to retain, at least he got to retain like his classic image for a few minutes, like the 10th Doctor did.
Yeah.
And I like
that
that.
would have been wrong if he was the old man or regenerated.
Yeah, 'cause that's who he-
Yeah, that's understand. That I'll agree with.
And I like that he took off his bow tie. He didn't give his next
Oh.
incarnation the chance to take it off. So like,
I told this to Jose earlier today. When he took off the bow tie, I was like, that was the moment I was like,
Yeah.
oh god, I can't deal with this.
yeah. See, at least if Capaldi like took off the bow tie like this fucking thing or whatever, that'd be something. But the fact
It'd be
that Smith
offensive.
took it off before, that way, you know.
Yeah, that was nice.
Because it
That
wasn't it like in a weird way, like you see bow ties kind of back
Yeah.
in hipstery fashion.
Yeah.
He brought it back, I'm assuming.
He did.
Like,
He did.
Really did.
If you see when they became in fashion, like compared to
2009,
when Matt Smith
yeah.
started, it is a direct result.
God, I looked at it. It's been 1,454 days and 32 million Tumblr gifs since Matt Smith
Jesus
was like
Christ.
the Doctor.
I mean, that
Yeah.
his social media presence is Maybe second only to David Tennant,
Yeah.
because David Tennant.
I think it's past David Tennant.
Really?
Yeah, because David Tennant didn't have any like effect on like what people would buy.
I think Americans got really into Doctor Who more when Smith was the Doctor.
Americans definitely did. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I believe, and I think I talked to Jose about this also. Maybe it wasn't you, but Matt Smith was only able to do what he did with the show because of what David Tennant did.
Yeah, exactly.
David Tennant brought it up to such a high point that suddenly they were like, other people will like this.
Mm-hmm.
And they started marketing it the right way. But Matt Smith, I mean, I told Jose, Matt Smith is my favorite Doctor right now.
Yeah, he's my favorite Doctor too. I wish Capaldi got like more than he got in like his appearance, but it was a good first couple seconds.
Yeah, he pops up, complains about his kidneys.
He's like, you know how to fly this thing, and which I put on
That I'm a little afraid of.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be like Amnesiac Doctor.
It seems like that's what they're gonna do.
Oh,
though.
he's regeneration trauma. He'll get
Yeah, and
over
it does tend to happen a lot. I mean, it's better than the Sixth Doctor.
Yeah, at least he's not strangling Clara in like his first
When
and
five-
saying how much he hated his last incarnation.
Have you seen 5 turning into 6?
No, I didn't see
Peter
that.
Davison
Which,
regenerates.
to be fair, it's a
into-
cool regeneration scene. I like the
Yeah.
first words Colin Baker says. He's like, a doctor, like, you're expecting somebody else, and
Yeah.
like, I changed not in a moment not too soon. But then he's like, fuck
But he's
it,
all snarky, and then all of a sudden he turns on her. He starts choking out
Yeah.
his companion. It's really
pretty
weird.
much.
yeah.
The companion he died saving, now he's strangling her.
Yeah, it's very, very weird.
All kinds of fucked up.
Oh, God.
That would be awesome if they took such a dark turn in Capaldi because he has that face. Imagine him pissed.
Oh,
Oh, Lord.
God. They're probably going to do that. They're probably going to have him be the ferocious doctor, which would be awesome.
Maybe. I don't know. He might
I
be
can't already
like
see what his whole quirks and wardrobe like.
I think he's going to be the old funny doctor.
We'll find out in August.
God damn it!
Seriously?
That's,
Yeah.
that's what I heard.
Yeah, it's
And-
August.
That's awful.
I know.
That's what Doctor Who does.
Yeah,
We didn't even get any Doctor Who.
Well, we got
we got a full series
Time of the
in
Doctor.
2013, the Day
we
of the
got the
Doctor.
50th anniversary.
We got the fate of the Eighth Doctor.
I can't wait that long.
Well, you're gonna have to.
Don't worry, Sherlock's coming soon to distract you a little
After what? 3 years?
yeah.
bit. That's something, you damn it!
But we should give a little bit of a sum up. What do you think of? You know what, Pat? Since you're writing an article about this, if you want to give your own little, what do you call it?
Synopsis?
Not synopsis. If you wanna
Eulogy.
promote yourself, but no, I mean seriously.
Promote myself.
Do your top 5.
Oh, okay.
Not
11th
11, that's
Doctor
too many.
moments or
top 5.
11th
Matt
Doctor or
Smith,
episode?
Yeah. Matt Smith.
Okay, episodes, moments, like.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, I'll just do top 5 episodes because it adds more to the Doctor to explore. Top 5 episodes. Number 5, you got the Snowman. The Snowman.
Snowman, really?
Yeah, number
Why?
4. It's just like it's him getting to know. It's first time with him without the pawns and like him doing something different. It's a cool setting. It's a good dark Christmas episode.
I liked him kind of dark too.
Yeah.
He pulled that off pretty well.
Number 4, you got Pandora Opens, Big Bang. Number 3, you got Vincent the Doctor.
Vincent the Doctor is my favorite
Yeah.
episode.
Number 2, you got 11th Hour. And number 1, you got Doctor's Wife.
That's your favorite.
Doctor's Wife, really?
Doctor's Wife is good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the most 11th Doctor. Neil Gaiman really understands the 11th Doctor by saying he's all like elbows and corners and things.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a great episode.
Yeah.
Vincent the Doctor, hands down, has my favorite moment in television history in that episode.
What, he brings
Bill
Vincent
Knight?
Van Gogh to
What?
the museum?
Bill Nye.
Yeah, well, no, when he brings
To the museum.
Vincent Van Gogh into the museum.
Yeah.
That is just hands down. Everything about that moment is perfect.
Yeah, that's cool. What about, I guess that's your favorite episode. Yeah, like I said, I think that I also liked in the 11th Regeneration, like right before he turned to Capaldi, he was like, he didn't go out with a whimper, like he was okay with everything. He was like, yeah, and any second now the next guy's gonna be here, but let me
Well,
just...
I wouldn't say he was okay with it. He was more like, let me make myself, like, he was, like, even though he was, like, fucking 1,000 years old, he was still, like, all right, it's gonna be fine, all right, let's do it. Like,
Well, he was also like, people always change throughout their lives, and which is okay. And as long as you remember who you used to be, then you'll always be the same person. And I'll always remember when I was the Doctor, which was those were his official last words. When the Doctor was me, yeah. Those were his official last words. So that was fine.
Speaking of that, his acting seemed kind of weird to me in that scene.
Probably because he was sad.
Well, I think that was the point. I think he was like emotionally, because I don't agree with that. I think he was I don't think he was ready to go at all. But I think he didn't want to be David Tennant. I think he was like, I'm going to do it. This is. Because I don't think he ever thought he was going to die. I don't think he ever thought he was going to regenerate. I thought he thought he was going to die, and that he was going to be the last Doctor. So suddenly he had to deal
It wasn't just regenerating. It was like he was like starting his life all over again.
He had to deal with being one more Doctor on the pile.
Yeah. Just fine. I mean, that's kind of what I got from that scene at the end of the day of the Doctor when he joined all of his other regenerations.
Yeah,
I thought that was symbolic of him joining the other past versions.
Honestly, you could like bring that scene to the end of this special.
Cross out the audio and just like put that there and be perfect.
Yeah,
it actually would work a lot better. Like
really
after that scene, just cut to him joining the other regenerations, and then 10 and the War Doctor look at him, and it's like, yeah, he's there with them, which is cool. He was a worthy Doctor. He was, my Doctor, and he got me to watching current episodes of Doctor Who. And but I'm not worried about Capaldi. I'm actually really excited for him. It's still except for until August, but
I am. I think he's going to be great. If you had to be like, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
But I am worried about him.
Worried about what exactly?
I'm worried about him. I'm worried about the show more than him. I'm worried about that the show doesn't know how to handle an old man Doctor at this point.
You mean Steve Moffat?
Steve Moffat, the audience.
Is that not going through?
No, it is. You just need to be closer.
Okay.
It's just I don't know. I think he'll be great. I'm just concerned that we're all so used to.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what happens with every regeneration scene.
No, I'm saying because Christopher Eccleston was a young guy. He wasn't super young, but he was 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Into David Tennant, who was slightly younger. Into Matt Smith, who was 26 at the time, I think.
Yeah, he was really damn young.
He looks so much younger, like his first season as the Doctor compared to where he is now.
Unbelievable.
His face got a lot more angular and like cornery.
He ages like the president.
Yeah, he does age like the president.
Well, I think it's just because he was, he was a young man who was going from his 20s into his 30s. I don't think it was.
That's still. His face aged more than 4 years. He was in the perfect place. He was going. I still say he aged a lot.
He aged a lot, but a lot of it is the haircut. A lot of it is the wardrobe. A lot, like when
I'm glad he changed his costume eventually. I liked his second outfit a lot better than his first outfit.
Yeah, a lot of it's the hair. If you go from season 5 to season 6, he ages a ton just because they changed the hairstyle.
Okay, then I'll take a closer look.
And like I said, the when he first started, the tweed jacket and suspenders and little bow tie gives him a very young appearance.
Back in the days where he would just wear either a red bow tie if it was in the future, a blue bow tie if it was in the past, or whatever. Back when he was just starting out and he had so much future ahead of him.
It is weird. I still think of him as the new one.
Yeah. I remember back in the day when Matt Smith is the next Doctor. I remember those days.
That's it.
But, people thought the show was going to end when Tennant left. But, Matt Smith proved them wrong in his first episode.
The way it's always going to be. I saw this little picture on internet, on Facebook somewhere. Like, the Doctor Who cycle, saying, oh no, the regeneration happened. This guy's gonna suck, and then the segment goes, oh, he's good, but he's nowhere near as good as the previous Doctor. And then the following step is, oh my God, he's the greatest Doctor ever. Yeah. To, oh no, how are they gonna do the show without him? And they just it's the cycle of Doctor Who.
But never think that the show can't end. Remember 1987?
Yeah, that was after the 6th and 7th Doctor. Those were like admittedly weak Doctors.
I'm just saying the show could always maybe Peter Capaldi's gonna end up being weak.
Maybe.
We don't know.
I mean, Steve Moffat's a pretty big name in entertainment in BBC right now, and he's the showrunner of the show.
That's the other point I wanted to bring up. How long do you think Steve Moffat should stay?
I don't know. Like, he's already staying longer than Russell T Davies at this point.
Really?
Is he?
How long did Davies stay?
He did 3 series and the specials.
He did.
No, all of Eccleston and Tennant.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, four
you
series.
did,
I forgot.
so you did 5 years.
Alright, so
Yeah.
you did 5 years. Alright.
Moffat's getting up there.
My bad. But, okay, after Davies, I think that... I think they should stay on until the end of the Capaldi Doctor at this point.
Really? You don't think that they should just, they might...
There'll be a clear, shift in tone if it's the same Doctor while change of showrunners.
So?
That's what they did that with. Oh wait, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't change the Doctor.
They did that on the old series, and that
Yeah.
ended up with the series being canceled eventually.
But I think if you change up the... Because we know Russell T. Davies... not Russell T. Davies. Stephen Moffat's cues by now. We know his beats. We know, this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, then this is going to happen. In an episode, he is pretty clear... stuff like episodes like this or the 50th, everything, gets thrown for a loop. But, regular episodes, there's sort of a textbook to it.
yeah. But,
gotta give it some flair with a new guy.
Yeah.
I like 11th generation. I always liked the idea that when he would regenerate, he'd just be he'd be back to his old costume. He'd just be doing a really simple type of adventure. Then you just get hit, and that would cause regeneration. If that makes any sense. But
I always thought he would go out some grand way.
Yeah.
Think about every season finale.
yeah,
There's been some
he does
giant-
speeches and all that.
Yeah, he was a very grand. His first episode is an alien invasion.
Yeah.
He sends away by basically being "Guess who I am?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all it was beginning, middle, and end. First series, second series, third series, and specials.
Pretty much.
So I think he got a pretty good run. He didn't overstay his welcome. I guess when you think about it, how far could his Doctor have gone, really?
He went pretty goddamn far.
Yeah,
That's
he went
true.
far.
I'm trying to remember what the stats were, airtime to date of each Doctor. And I know, I think...
Tennant had slightly more than Smith, but to be fair, those episodes weren't that great.
Tom Baker went for 7 years.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
7.
but I think with obviously with total airtime, Matt Smith is number 3 now.
Yeah. Because, all the episodes, I might say, Doctor number 1 has, 200 episodes. That's only,
They're,
maybe
20 minutes long or something.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. And all part of, the same story. 3 of those episodes are, one story.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so, what are your guys' final thoughts on, the end of the 11th Doctor?
Overall, I thought it was great. I know you guys explained it to me, but I still feel like the final switch over was underplayed. But that's my personal.
But
feeling.
that's the thing is that was on purpose.
I know.
They
I
wanted to do it.
obviously,
it's done. Well, that's cool.
again, obviously, that's what they did. That's what they did. I understand the reasoning behind it. Just, I personally thought it was under dramatic. That's just my opinion.
Why should it be dramatic? He had his dramatic moment.
He did. If you want dramatic
He shot that
regenerations,
knowledge.
you watch the 10th generation.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
They can't keep redoing that every time.
I understand the logic.
Let's
I
not settle
understand.
it. That would be just boring.
Dramatic. What
Yeah.
exactly are you looking for? You're looking
Like-
for explosions and
Shooting
visually
down a
Steve
ship,
Moffat, I
maybe with
read.
his arms and head.
I read
Pretty
somewhere-
much.
He did that.
I read that Steve Moffat said that he didn't want to make the generation sad because he felt like the 10th Doctor generation pretty much said everything they could about how sad it is to regenerate.
Also, because I think the 11th Doctor is far wiser than
Yeah.
the 10th Doctor. He
at
knows.
this point he's been around a lot. 10th Doctor in his personal timeline was only
3 years.
yeah for
4
3 years.
Well, if you want to be,
Yeah.
we don't know how long between specials.
Not enough to age like the 11th Doctor did.
Yeah, but the 11th Doctor didn't. He aged 200 years between 5 and 6.
Well, yeah, but he didn't go from a physically young body to a physically old body.
That's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
could have been 200 years for David Tennant.
Yeah, I guess.
Probably wasn't, but I'm just saying we don't know that. But yeah, I think he was far wiser, and he was just this happens. I've been through it so many times.
Yeah.
That's true.
My final thoughts are: I thought it was good, amazing. Also, I feel like the war could have been an entire movie, though. I feel like they could have.
They
But
should have
I know
shown more of the
more.
battle. I liked seeing the
Yeah.
silence zap the Cybermen, but
But you know Doctor Who. I mean, we watched
a lot of
Day of the Doctor. We barely got to see the Time War. It's they just don't like showing stuff.
Now what can you do? They had the wooden Cybermen, which
That was weird.
that was weird. What was
And
the
then he
point of that?
convinced to shoot himself.
Yeah.
And he was like, haha, I was lying. This doesn't work on wood. So you just committed suicide.
Oh, Doctor.
I really enjoyed him being like Santa Claus with weapons.
Yeah, that's
Like,
cool. I mean,
That was very cool to
He always was like the mythical Doctor, like like
that he was. He
the
was
Doctor that was like the most,
the most godlike.
I guess godlike, just like magical creature type Doctor. I mean, Doctor. The 8th Doctor was the romantic. The 9th Doctor was the ex-veteran. I was gonna say soldier, but that was the War Doctor.
Ex-veteran.
Yeah, he's like
the one
the
back in the war that
PTSD.
can't deal with
No,
it.
but ex-veteran. That's a
Oh,
weird.
yeah, that is an
that-
oxymoron.
My bad.
Unless
He's
you
the-
go back in time and stop yourself from going to war.
Yeah.
Which he could do. He did. Oh no, he didn't. He just stopped the war.
10th
He
Doctor
almost
was
did.
the 10th Doctor was the adventurer, human one. 6 was the unstable one. 7 was a chess master. 5 was the modest
Cricket
one.
playing.
Yeah. 4 was the
Look at me,
crazy
a
one.
vegetable.
I always want to write Doctor Who. Well, not. I guess it'd be just like a script, like a story would be, 60s like swinging London, but it'd be the 3rd Doctor, because he was like
Because you can travel.
the modish.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I gotta. I mean, we're not even an hour in, and we're pretty much done reviewing this
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
But you were there with me when I downloaded off Audible the 11 Doctor stories.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've only heard the first one so far, and halfway through the second Doctor.
Mhm.
I'm loving them so far. Honestly, they're really
But
good.
is it the one where each Doctor is like a silhouette of the Doctor's face on each cover?
Well, it's the audiobook.
It's an audio. I only have an
But
audio
yeah,
format.
it's that where like each one was written by
Oh,
a
cool.
famous
The
author.
11 Doctor's the Neil Gaiman one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm liking it so far, and I know I've only heard like bits and pieces of audio clips of the other Doctors. The people who it's a different narrator each book. They do a pretty damn good impression of the
each one?
the respective Doctor.
Weird.
I like it. I really do like it. I highly recommend it if you can find it.
Yeah. it's
And
cool.
I've also heard previously 2 audiobooks of David Tennant's Doctor, narrated by David Tennant.
That's
And
good.
it's actually I like him a lot. He also does the voices very spot on for each character.
Well, I hope he does the Doctor for him.
Obviously.
Pretty all right.
But I think the one like besides the Doctor himself, the one that was very spot on and also kind of comical for me was Mickey's.
Oh, see,
Mickey.
if they had done this the way that I would have done this if I was in charge, it would be the Doctor reading the story and like imitating his friends.
That's
So,
what-
but it would be no. You said he reads it Scottish.
oh the
So it'd be
narration.
him like doing like Mickey's voice as if like the Doctor was mocking Mickey.
That's kind of what it is.
is.
I mean, I don't know. He does it straight. It kind of sounds like Mickey.
Do you remember in the 1990 they had that really shitty Doctor Who crossover with EastEnders, where it had like the 3rd Doctor, the 7th Doctor, the 5th Doctor, and the 6th Doctor?
How much crack are you smoking?
No, it was a real thing. It was like
I'm sure it was
in the
no
early
number.
'90s.
Kidding.
It was a really poorly done special, which it had
Wait,
like.
was that the where they all crossed? They were like running through a market.
Yeah,
together?
exactly.
Yeah.
That turns out, like, because it was so bad, they made a canon that it was a nightmare that the Doctor was having, which kind of, makes sense why it's like, because it's a dream and everything. But
Yeah.
I think it's cool. So it's just a nightmare the Doctor is having, which explains all the different generations being there. So that's cool. But, mayhaps we should wrap this review up or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, what do you, if you had one thing that you would like to see more of in the Peter Capaldi era, like,
The Matt Smith era.
no, if some, well, alright, yeah, one thing that you think maybe the Matt Smith era would have lacked and you would like to see more of.
I would have
Peter
liked to
Capaldi
see
era.
him meet up with the Master, I guess. That would be
Me too.
cool.
I would have loved
Yeah,
to see
that's
Matt
definitely
Smith
the
going
one
back
I
and
think
forth
of.
with them. Even
Exactly,
if it wasn't
yeah.
John Sims, even if it was
Yeah,
a different actor.
him versus the Master, because it's depending on some incarnations have this Doctor versus this Master. Even the 4th Doctor, I don't think the 4th Doctor saw the Master until his last episode either. But
Yeah.
still, 5th Doctor had Master. I don't think 6th Doctor did. 7th Doctor in his last episode had the Master. 8th Doctor had that Master. 9th Doctor didn't have the Master. 10th Doctor obviously had the Master. And the Master didn't technically show up until the 3rd Doctor, so 1 and 2 don't count.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would, and I would be hard pressed to say that it's, it's really unlikely that we won't see the Master with Peter.
Yeah,
Capaldi,
I'll
'cause
totally
now,
back,
now
yeah.
Gallifrey is on its way back.
I think it's the whole
Time
point,
Lords.
like all the Time Lords, Romana or Leela or whoever.
Is Romana alive?
I don't know, just somewhere.
Leela wasn't a
She
Time
was,
Lord.
but
was
she
a
lived
Jungle
on
Girl.
she lived on Gallifrey though.
How'd they let her do that?
I don't know.
It's weird.
She married like one of the guards. That was her excuse for not traveling with the Doctor anymore. Like, by the way, Doctor, she like holds this guy that's saying I'm with him, so me and K9 aren't coming with you anymore.
She kept the dog?
She kept K9.
Wait, how'd Sarah get her? Wait.
Sarah got dropped off like
No,
80
but she had
miles away
K9.
from home.
But she had K9.
I don't know how she got K9.
K9 ran away and went to Saturday.
I'm so confused.
I don't know how she got K9 somehow.
I want to see the adventures of K9 between those two moments.
That'd be interesting.
Well,
Jose, what would you say if Matt Smith lacked anything?
I have to agree with the Master. I really want to see more.
at
of
least
that.
he referenced the Master. It's not like
That's
he completely
true.
exists.
Yeah, but
That'd be weird if he never
I
did.
still want to see him come back.
You still, I mean, for not having the Master, you got to fight all of his other foes. You got some good Dalek moments.
You even got,
some
the Ice
Cybermen
Warriors.
Ice Warriors. Got some good Santaran moments.
Axon.
Got the Silurians. Even teamed up with the. He's the Doctor that got a Silurian and a Santaran to like fight together and like be allies.
These bitches.
Which, by the way, like they don't write this up, but Manavastra, Strax, and Jenny is considered like 11th Doctor's companions as well.
I think they're considered his friends. I think they make a very clear difference between them.
They count Jackson Late, Astrid from the Voyage of the Damned, and all Rosita, Jackson's companion, as like the 10th Doctor's companion.
I'm not saying they have made some bad decisions. I'm saying I don't consider them companions because they don't travel. Have they ever traveled in the TARDIS?
They got dropped off at Demon's Run somehow.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. James, if you say the Master, I'm quitting.
I come back to me.
At least they had that cool moment in the
It's
comic I told you about.
it's a
where
full
he meets,
sweep.
the 11th Doctor meets Classic Series Master, and the Master's like, "Oh, Doctor, you're looking youthful. Which incarnation is this?" And he's like, and the 11th Doctor's like, "One who thankfully hasn't seen your ugly mug in centuries." So it was cool. It was a comic.
Oh wait, yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which does sound like something he would say, so I guess makes sense.
Yeah.
Works.
I think I'd like to see some new aliens.
New? Really?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm always a little bit hesitant.
I
when they
like
do new stuff.
see. I like Steve Moffat's new when he creates new monsters, but they're always kind of like a psychological gimmick to them, and like they're never.
No,
really
they always have
developed.
one psychological gimmick to them. When you stop looking at them, something bad happens.
I mean, the silence.
Something clearly happened to him when he was a kid when he turned his back.
Yeah, God. Like the silence, the aliens were aside from Day of the Moon, and whatchamacallit, what's the other one? Impossible Astronaut. They didn't really get that developed.
Yeah.
The Whispermen didn't really get developed. You know, or at least Weeping Angels got developed, but they've been criticized for
But they got
alternating.
developed in like different ways.
Yeah.
And, like not.
To be fair, at least Steve Moffat's the one who did that. If it was a different writer doing it, then it'd be more like bad. But if it's the same writer who
I
created
guess.
them, it makes sense. He's like, I created the monsters. I control what powers they have when and when they have it.
The one thing that actually that's interesting, James, because that is something David Tennant had that it seemed like Matt Smith really didn't have much of. It seemed like
New aliens?
every single episode David Tennant was fighting something that didn't exist the episode beforehand.
Well, I'm sorry Matt Smith didn't fight the Adiposy or the fucking what else? The fucking idiot's lantern or that little girl who could put people in crayon drawings.
But it was at least like creative. It was,
or
it was-
werewolf aliens.
Well, that was fun.
you got
That's classic
vampire
Doctor
fish
Who.
people.
No,
I'm not saying he was bad. I'm saying there was a much more like Monster of the Week feel to David Tennant, and I like
Yeah.
that sometimes. But
Monster of the Week's okay, like for the first 3 times. Then it gets old. Like let's
what, you only like shows for the first 3 weeks that do that?
no, yeah.
You stop Buffy after 3 weeks?
Well, I mean, see that's the thing. Like Buffy was so epic because like they had so many episodes and like it was a 7-year journey. That's why I had, like that's why the last season was like so crazy or whatever. I don't know, but Arrow it has like villain of the week. But to be fair, when they do that, at least they're using DC characters.
Yeah.
So it works out.
But for in a lot of ways, classic Doctor Who villains are just as established as DC characters.
Yes.
But the one thing, I can't stand the Cybermen anymore.
I mean, okay.
I am so done with Cybermen.
I mean, it seems like there's not really that much you can do with them.
And Neil Gaiman
So-
tried.
I don't like what he did.
It was just those stupid kids dragged it down.
no,
is
and
all.
then there was the
I like the Cyber Controller. That's
the
number 11
reject-
on my list.
No, he was good. The reject army guys were not good.
Like Beaker.
Yeah, They were not good. Like, the guy that looks like Craig's son was
Yeah.
not good. Like,
What about Warwick Davis?
Warwick Davis is fine. He shouldn't have been in that episode. He should have been in a better episode.
Peter Jackson really wants to do a Doctor Who episode.
That'd be fine.
Probably not going to happen.
I would let him do it. You know, good for promotion.
He wants to do it in
I
New
think.
Zealand, though.
Oh,
You can
well,
spend too much money and throw.
They're not even doing two-parters anymore.
They will. They always will.
They should have done two-parters, but they would probably... Like, episodes like The Power of Three could have used a two-parter, you know?
Yes.
Maybe that's purgatory for the 11th Doctor, Amy, and Rory. Like, that episode, that part...
That was actually pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah.
Just the Doctor, like, flipping out because he couldn't deal with it. He had to leave.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, I guess my thing would be...
Yeah, from now on, that episode is considered by me purgatory for the 11th Doctor, Amy, and Rory.
All right then.
But, my what I could have used less of, and by indirectly more of in Peter Capaldi, less Cybermen, more Daleks. I get it. They wanted to underuse Daleks because they overused Daleks in the David Tennant era, but the Daleks are the most iconic villain in Doctor Who history.
Alright, well, I mean...
And there's a reason, and the
least
Cybermen
they're
are the
doing new-
reject, uninteresting version of them.
At least they're doing new things with the Daleks by having, like, the Dalek sleeper agents. Those are cool, I guess.
That's scary.
It's just a new
That's
thing.
scary.
Well, the Daleks are supposed to be scary.
I know, but that's almost too scary.
Gotta make them scary. Either that or they're silly looking, like, toilet plunger robots.
Because why wouldn't they just go to Earth and, like, you know how it's all breathed in?
Yeah.
Just put that into the atmosphere and boom, the
I
whole
don't
world's
know. They lose
Daleks.
track of things. Alright, I gotta get going.
Not really.
Alright,
Yeah,
Well-
fair enough, man.
you know, August we'll see how
It sucks.
the foul-mouthed
It really
Doctor-
does suck. Like, we're gonna be 8 months older. Like, god damn it, BBC.
I'll be dead by then.
Yeah.
I will be using a
Not
cane
the
at that
fun
point.
way.
Not the fun way. Oh, god.
How do you plan on dying in 8 months, Kyle?
I don't know, but Sherlock comes back in a few days, so that's cool.
That's
Yeah,
something.
That's cool. That's something to watch.
And they came out with a prequel to that. Did you see that?
No. Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'll look into that. In
Friggin' what's his name likes it now. Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Is suddenly a Sherlock fan.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, you know what? That'd be interesting. If Mark Gatiss took over Doctor Who.
I mean, I guess. I mean, he definitely knows how to treat it right. You know, like. I mean, he doesn't write the best episodes, but he definitely wrote Adventure of Space and Time, which was good. So.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. But, I mean, he wrote friggin' bad episodes like Idiot's Lantern and Victory of the Daleks, but he also wrote...
I didn't dislike Victory of the Daleks.
Yeah, that's true, but still...
Idiot's Lantern. Yeah.
People gave him a lot of shit for Crimson Horror because the Doctor, like,
That was a bad episode.
because he kissed Jenny like that.
Oh, that I don't care about, but that was a bad episode.
Alright.
He gets Rory in an episode of few.
That's because, people are, like, writing... I saw on TV tropes, like, they say... one of the 11's tropes is he has an ambiguous disorder, that he's not unlike autistic people or people with Asperger's or whatever. I'm like, can't he just be a silly
I think
alien
he's just
man?
silly. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't think he gives a shit either. I don't think he has a disorder like that. People look too far into
Doctor
these
has
things.
mild autism.
Oh my god. Like,
Well, I mean,
Doctor's just a guy with like a snow globe, like a TARDIS. Whatever.
The whole story. Was
Yeah.
And if you're gonna say anything, I mean, I feel like the Doctor's always had some kind of mild Asperger's, like
I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think David
it's-
Tennant did.
No,
in terms of like understanding social interaction.
I still don't think David Tennant did.
no,
David
he
Tennant
was very
pretty
human.
perfect.
He could like pass off as like a human and everything.
Yeah, he basically was human. And then they made him human.
Yeah, that was which is weird because like it wasn't so much that he was alien and human, as the fact that he was two different people.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. We'll all be in 8 months. Well, not in 8 months. In a year, we'll all be like, "Oh, remember when we were sad about Matt Smith?"
Bullshit for a year from now.
In 1 year, we'll all be sad about Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, Peter Capaldi's gonna have like 10 episodes then on a Christmas special.
Imagine Peter Capaldi leaves after 1 year.
Oh my god!
It wouldn't be unheard of. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
Imagine if he pulls an Eccleston.
I'd be, if he did that,
Oh, then he like gets like.
I
pissed
would
off
be
and
worried
he's
for the
not
show if that happened. If that happened, I'd be worried for the show.
And he just disregards, like he just won't talk
Just-
about it anymore.
Exactly.
meanwhile, he's been on Doctor Who and Torchwood
And he's
previously.
like a lifelong Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
He wrote when he
no,
was
it's
6
not.
years old, and he called the Doctor
Yeah.
Doctor Who. Like, I want to be Doctor
Well,
Who.
because everyone did. Everyone
Yeah.
did. Like everyone did up until the show ended. Like when it came back, suddenly
Oh.
everyone was a stickler. Like you can't call it he's not Doctor Who. He's the Doctor. But everyone in England still calls him Doctor Who.
Oh, that's good.
Hell, what's his name? David Tennant. He was first credited as David Tennant, introducing David Tennant as Doctor Who in the
Wow.
in the last
That's 'cause
episode
he
of
wanted it.
Eccleston.
Because that's why he became an actor in the first place, to become the Doctor.
Well, I mean, you know, they didn't call him the Doctor. They called him Doctor Who.
Doctor.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, but until August.
Until August.
Until August when we talk about the
Oh,
next
okay.
Doctor.
Yeah, I guess. And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But until next time on Just Casting.
see you later.
Later.
I'm not doing the fucking sign off.